Hey everybody, Roger here. Hope you guys are all having a great day. Like I said in my last video, there was a lot of things going on in regards to race and ethnicity in a tweet that I was involved in with on Twitter, where I definitely got ratioed, but my point came across, and I think people finally understood, at least those who wanted to listen finally understood what I was saying, and as long as I got to get my point across, that was a good thing. On the other hand, on Facebook, where I have family, it's a little different. It was a little different. It was everybody's like, when was the first time somebody was racist towards you? Do you remember that? And I put on mine, I really don't give it the time of day, don't give it my energy, don't dwell on it. Back in the day, before I used to just be, focused on myself, I used to let it consume me and be that toxic entity in my body. The things that happened to me in the past, getting beat up because I was gay, getting beat up because I was Mexican, minority, Puerto Rican, whatever. I was always getting beat up, I've experienced racism, but you know what? Not in my mind, not in these days. Ever since I've changed, I guess ever since probably my early 20s, that's when I understood it. That's when I understood that, don't put energy towards this unnecessary stuff. Race and ethnicity are social constructs, and so we don't need to consume ourselves with them. They are meant to divide. They're good for certain things, but obviously people abuse the definitions and they let it get to them. Now let's go back to the main point of this video. I wanted to talk about these riots and how a lot of the media are making a small stink of it. They are not using the words riot in any of their news coverage of these issues. There was a guy, I don't remember his name, Vic something or Val something from MSNBC. He was on the ground, and it's kind of funny. The only thing you can think of when you look at him in this segment with I think it's Brian Williams, I can't remember, the guy who said he was on a plane when snipers fired at him, I can't remember his name is, Brian something, whatever. Anyways, I believe he was talking with him, Brian Williams in the studio, and he was on the ground, and he's like, there's this burning building behind him, and all you could think of is Leslie Nielsen in that movie where he's like, nothing to see here, people, it's okay. There's basically burning buildings all around him. People just, everywhere, just protesting and looting and rioting. He's like, oh no, it's, people overreacting when they're saying this is rioting and stuff. And it's like, oh my God, dude, whatever. Yeah, you're definitely telling people the truth here. Okay, so we have what, 23, 25, I don't know how many cities, 23 or 25 cities now. 92+% of them, probably even 96+% of them are Democrat-run cities where these riots and supposed protests are happening. Fuck you guys. And again, I'm going to start my cussing on this one. Fuck those people who say they're going out there in the name of George Floyd. No, you guys are fucking liars. Those people that are out there causing that problem, there might be a few. There might be like maybe 5% of the people that are out there actually peaceful protesting. Of course, let's admire that. But let's also remember the fact that all of these cities and towns, the governors, mayors, whatever, they're all telling you, oh no, you can't go out, you have to social distance, you can't have your business open, blah, 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 blah. And then 2 weeks later, we have these riots, and now everybody could be right next to each other. And then you see on the news all these governors and stuff saying, oh, no, let's go ahead and, you guys can continue your protests, and they call them protests, they don't call them riots. You can continue your protests just so long as you're practicing social distancing and you're wearing your masks. So they're allowing all this shit to happen, but they don't want people to go back to work. Look, this was inevitable. 40+ million people out of work right now. Of course they're going to go out, and they're going to go out again today. Today, right now, it's Sunday. They're going to go out again today, and they're going to be continuing this cycle of destruction. What you guys are doing is it's really asinine. The people up above, the people above us, and again, I know people laugh at me when I even bring this up, but those in power, the cabal, the Illuminati, the elitists, the Soroses, everybody, the Rockefellers and whatnots, they're laughing at us. Race is the smallest the smallest issue they could use against us, and no, they know it always works. They know it always works. They knew it was inevitable that the first case with Ahmaud Arbery, well, they didn't know this was inevitable. The Ahmaud Arbery case was probably supposed to be the igniter. And then when that story started turning all sour, this one with George Floyd comes around and everybody's just out of the water. 40 million plus people unemployed. Of course it was going to happen. You know, people not working, people at home, people being boxed in. Of course it was something to make them outraged. And yes, there's a possibility that there's orchestration going on here with certain groups. I think the Minnesota governor, I'm not sure who specifically, has stated that, we believe white supremacists might be behind this and Russians or whatever. And I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, all we see is Antifa going around. And while that claim could possibly be true, with some supposed white supremacists instigating, you know, burning the buildings and whatnot, I have seen one video of a guy who has burned or attempted arson. But again, the other ones can't be proven. I haven't seen any proof of that otherwise. So he's saying that it's coordinated. So if that's the case, he's assuming that it's white supremacist groups that are orchestrating these. But the bigger issue here, people, the bigger issue, it's not white supremacists, it's not race, it's not these protests, it's not Ahmaud Arbery, it's not George Floyd, it's none of that bullshit. You want to know what it is? Contact tracing was allowed to happen. Yes, and you can even look on your phones now. Just type in COVID in your settings search. If you have an Android phone, you'll see that COVID by default is in there now, probably from the last update. And it doesn't look like it's on by default. It does look like it needs Bluetooth and GPS to be active, and you have to download a government affiliated app in order for it to work. I don't necessarily believe that to be true. You know, I have not been told the truth on anything. And again, I am a technical guy, but I'm also a rational guy. I'm also a cognitive guy, and I'm also a speculative guy. So yes, the speculative part of me is dominating on this one. Who knows, maybe my phone is being traced right now, and it looks like everything is off, but I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe the notification's going towards me, but my movements are consistently being tracked. You know, go watch Edward Snowden's videos in regards to tracing and what your phone can actually do, and how 100% of the time things are actually happening that you are just completely unaware of. So no, do I believe that we're not being tracked? Do I believe that that our phones, with that app still looking like it's not installed, or that I need to activate my Bluetooth and my GPS, that it's not doing anything to track me? No, I don't believe it. At this point, I don't know what to believe, and that's where I'm at with that. But the contact tracing, and then the COVID pass, I'm not sure if a lot of people have heard about that, but COVID pass is getting probably a rollout into 15 plus countries, US being one of them. So we are part of now a system where you have to prove with a pass, in order to go from A to B, in order to travel from country to country, to do anything, you have to prove that you're up to date on your shots. Otherwise, we knew this was coming. You know, people like me have known this was coming. A lot of my friends and family thought I was kooky and nuts. And they're like, oh, you're overreacting. You know, our rights aren't let me know, Roger, what rights of ours are being taken away. And I'm like, well, here you go. Here's one of them. The freedom. My God, it's just annoying. And going back, I'm sorry, I deviated again, but going back to these riots, you know, we're destroying. These people are destroying small businesses. They're destroying, even if you destroy like a Target, the Targets that were destroyed, the AutoZones that were destroyed. You're ruining people's lives. There's people who go to work in these buildings, people who are minorities, lower class, lower middle class, whatever. There's all these people that are at the mercy of you starting fires, of you looting their stores. They're not gonna be able to go back to work now. I mean, it's just, oh my God, it's insane. I'm very upset about like the fact that they're being inconsiderate of their fellow of people who are also being, you know, at the mercy of all of this. You know, the workers, the people that actually have to go out and work and put food on the table. You just incarcerated or destroyed, incinerated a lot of cities, and a lot of businesses, and there's, I just can only imagine how many more unemployed people are going to be filing here very shortly. People that are desperate, people that need food on their table. It's just so frustrating. And And again, you know, here's another argument as well with all of this. Police are, I know there's some rumors that there's some police that are instigating this, some police that are just standing down, not doing anything when they see something happen. Obviously, you see the police cars actually getting destroyed. You see all this shit happening, and and it's, people are like, oh, but you know, we don't need guns. The Second Amendment's not important because we have the officers. We can call officers. I'm sorry, people, but those same officers that you say we can rely on have already said certain civilian issues are not priority anymore. They're not going to be coming over to your house if you get shot at, if you get robbed, if you get this, if you get that. So no, you know, this is more reason for people to be buying guns. This is more reason for people to be arming themselves. More reason to be a pro Second Amendment advocate. We are getting our rights stripped left and right by fucking idiots, and it's just, oh my God, it's just, it drives me fucking insane. So yeah, I mean, what I don't know, I'm just, what are you guys' thoughts on all this? I mean, you guys have given me some good feedback on the last couple of videos that I've covered in the last 2 months here, 2-3 months since it's been going on. So, and I really appreciate that, because a lot of it, it's like I'm actually it's going into my head like, oh, you know, this is true, that's true, and oh, sorry, I'm distracted by my car here. So all of these things are happening, and I'm sorry, I'm just a little rambly right now. I just had a park, and I'm just kind of trying to think of where to go from here. But you know, then we have all this shit going on. We're destroying our current way of life. I hope there's some enlightenment going on. There's supposed race and ethnicity wars going on where they're trying to pit us against one another, white, black, all colors in between, all around. And you know what? Again, I don't give a fuck about ethnicity. I don't give a fuck about race. Again, like I said, it's a social construct. We are all just people, and we're people being abused by a certain other class of people who don't want us around, who either want us around or they want full control of us as slaves. I don't understand that. You know, it's just insane, you know, everything that's going on right now, and it's very, very frustrating. And then, you know, another thing, Biden and his campaign. Now, this is not directly with Biden's campaign, but there is some funding from Biden's campaign. Again, not directly from him, going to bail out some of these rioters. This is the guy you guys want on your table. This is the guy you guys want for president. Not you guys in general. I'm saying it in general, like for people that are on his side instead, you know, anti-Trumpers, you know, never Trumpers, whatever. But yeah, you guys are just the people that are out there just destroying these communities. You're saying you're out there and you're trying to represent for George Floyd and white officers killing black civilians. I don't see, again, white people get killed more annually and even per capita than black people do. Black people do, oh, maybe I probably got that wrong, not per capita, but they do get killed more. And I might have it right, I don't know, I can't recall right now, but I do know that blacks do disproportionately per capita commit a lot more crime, a lot more murders. And the sad part is a lot of minorities, this is anybody in general, but I'm speaking on just minorities right now. Yes, this social construct. We are, for the most part, fucking idiots, you know, as a conglomerate, as a whole, because we don't understand law. We don't, as a whole, I'm saying, we don't understand our rights. We don't understand how to follow officer orders to not instigate issue, to not get arrested, to not get killed, to not resist arrest. We do not understand any of this fucking shit, and this is why we see stupidity all around with minorities. This is why I'm so fucking hard on this shit, because I get so sick and tired, and I'm just gonna come out right and say it right now. I get so sick and tired of my minority, I guess you would call them brethren, even though, again, I don't believe in that kind of system, but people that look like me and darker and whatnot. The reason why we get shot down, the reason why we get killed, for the most part, this is excluding officers like the one that killed George Floyd, excluding people like that. But the reason why we get killed and are statistically more likely to be labeled as thieves, criminals, murderers, etc., It's because we're fucking stupid. We don't know when to stop. We like to steal fatherless homes. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, but the blame comes on us. And when we're not aware, and the media is out there, coddling us and saying, oh, no, these are peaceful protesters. There's a couple of burning buildings over here, but you can look away. No, you're fanning the flames and you're making it worse for us. We are your fucking puppets as a whole, and that's what pisses me off. The fucking idiocy of a lot of my other minority brethren, my minority brothers and sisters, who just believe everything is racist. All white people are racist. All cops are just going after black people. No, you're being ignorant to a lot of facts. MSM can cover all of these black and officer on black crime, white officer on black crime, but they never cover black on black crime. They never cover Mexican on Mexican crime. They never cover illegals coming in and chopping bodies up, MS-13 chopping bodies up, even regular Joe Blow Mexican people coming in and domestically abusing their wives, up to including murdering them and fleeing the country again. This is why we don't have fucking open borders, people. I mean, I'm getting a little upset because I'm getting sick and tired. This country is going to shit. This country is going to shit. We got COVID pass on the way. The biggest thing, in my opinion, of the last week right now of riots, the biggest thing was the introduction, I believe Mayor or Senator Katz, I don't know. I don't follow that guy. But when he came out and said they're using contact tracing to determine who's from out of state and who's not, which, by the way, the data that they provided was incorrect as well. So I'm just so frustrated. That's the biggest story here. Our rights are being taken away. We're being spied on. And again, we could thank the Senate for that as well. This isn't just a Democrat issue. We have a Republican Senate that actually let it be okay that we continue spying on American civilians. Oh my God, it's just the crazy things that are happening right now are just insane. I feel like I'm sometimes going crazy. Now, what I do to occupy my time, this is where I hope that this information actually helps a lot of people. I am focused on a couple of startups, and I'm doing my own thing. I'm spending the majority of my time on those when I'm not, infused with the news. The news goes on in the background, but sometimes I just have to turn it off and focus on myself. Because right now is a good opportunity for everybody to get up, find who they are, truly inside, find who they are. Don't be subject to businesses. Don't be subject to control, where you can get fired for something. Be your own business startup. Start something right now. There's a lot of things you can start. I'll tell you one of the biggest things that you could be starting right now, print on demand, and you can start selling masks. Customize your own masks. You can go on the Amazon. I forget what the affiliate program of the program is called, but it's like a print on demand. Just Google print on demand Amazon. You'll find where you can actually go in there with little to no startup capital at all. I'm actually putting capital up on the projects that I'm starting right now. 3 very big ones. One of them is about to launch. And then go and study, how to do Facebook ads for selling these products. Again, the biggest, hottest things right now are going to be the election, are going to be, motivation for people to think positive in this chaos. That's a niche. You got to go after these niches. And again, it doesn't take a lot of capital. I mean, even Shopify is offering 90 days free. So you can just, dip your fingers in it. After that, it's like $29 a month, $79 for the middle of the road package, which is what I'll be doing, for these projects. But again, don't rely. That's you being your own boss is what I'm saying. You need to be your own boss, because this world is going to be a more controlling world. And when you're your own boss, are you going to have to worry about travel if you don't want to have shots every year, and be submissive to the government and whatnot? No, you're your own boss. You can have your staycations at home, and you can say bye-bye to travel. You just say bye-bye to travel. Your bodily autonomy is a lot more important. Your freedom to be your own boss is a lot more important. There's so much shit going on right now. I wish other minorities would listen to me. Again, social construct in the way here. I believe equality for all people. I don't like this social construct bullshit. I don't like this race and ethnicity categorization. We all have histories. We all come from people, but we all come from one. We are all the same. Why do people have to separate us? And Seriously, minorities, come on. Blacks, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, whatever, Asians. Why do the majority of us have to always fucking play the victim? Why do we have to associate ourselves with victimhood? Don't be victims anymore, and definitely don't be the sheep in the ponds that the MSM are allowing, that you're allowing the MSM to label you as. You're not a victim. And yeah, you know what? I answered that question today on Facebook where somebody asked, what was the worst racist thing that ever happened to you? And everybody started putting all their stories. It got very popular. There's like thousands and thousands of people commenting, well, this white person told me this, and this white person did that. And I'm like, you know what? I just don't let it cross my mind. It doesn't bother me. Old Roger, it used to bother him. He used to think about it daily. But that's like these anti-Trumpers letting Trump live in their head daily. You know, it's like, it's negative. It's toxic. You don't need that shit. All you need is to focus on you. If those kind of people, whoever they may be, white people picking on a black person, white people picking on a Mexican, Mexican picking on a white, Mexican picking on a black, whatever it is, and vice versa all the way around, the people doing the picking on are ignorant. They're not worth your time. Move on. Let them stay racist. Let them stay prejudiced. Let them make fun of you, but be the bigger person and make something of yourself. Don't be a fucking tool for the MSM. Don't be a fucking tool for racists. Don't be a fucking tool for the Illuminati. Don't be a fucking tool for politicians. Don't be a fucking tool for these fucking governors taking away our rights. Stop that bullshit. We need to change this shit now. I encourage you guys to share this video. If you find it, I know I'm ranting, but I think the last half of it now, actually, I got some pretty good points across. If you can share it, I'd really appreciate it. I'm not getting a lot of views. I'm okay with that. I'm not a guy about popularity, but I do feel that the word isn't getting spread out there. And if you don't want to share my video, that's totally fine. I'm not begging for any likes or whatever. I don't mind likes or hates. You know, I say it as it is and I go with the flow. The only reason why I'm saying to share or make your own content to say that is because I want to make sure that word gets out, because right now we're in a time sensitive situation and we all need to be vocal about it, and the word needs to spread. And if it's going to not be you, maybe it'll be you sharing this video so more people can see it. And you know, maybe there is something worth showing people on this video to help them out and see that we're destroying ourselves, and the people up above are laughing because their plans are being fulfilled, and we are infighting. We are sheep. No, we're fighting dogs. You know, that's what we are in a cage. We're cage dogs, cage fighting dogs, and it needs to stop. We need to stand up, and that's why I'm standing up. I look like a fool most of the time. I don't give a shit. I really don't. You know, one life to live, and I think this is my calling, or at least one of my callings. Help people out and to at least show people a different perspective and see where we can go from there. And I hope, again, you know, if you guys have any questions about like starting up your own business, you know, I'll do my best. I look at my comments for about a couple of hours after I post a video, and I'm sorry I don't get to the comments later on after that. I do try, but I'm really focused on these projects, and if you guys have any questions, especially now, I can give you some links and stuff where you can go check out these. Again, you know, a lot of places are offering, you know, no startup capital for some really good projects. If you're creative, even if you're not creative, there's some tools out there to help you get creative. Go to placeit.net, go to what is Vecteezy, Vecteezy.com. You know, you can use all these things for free with watermarks and stuff. I have paid subscriptions on all these platforms, and it helps me. I'm a very artistic person. I'm also a very technical person. I think that the last 18 years of me being more technical than artistic is why I think this way. Is why I think I analyze quite a bit of things. I never used to think this way. I can't get my words across all that great, but my point across all that great to a lot of people when I talk. But I am more of a critical thinker than I was when I was more artistic, if that makes any sense. So you don't have to be artistic. You can get on these websites, make your own products. If you have ideas for cool shirts and whatnot, you can make a killing, or you can make a good amount of side hustle money. So I encourage that, especially if all you're doing is watching Netflix, or you're bored, or or maybe you're done with YouTube videos for a minute and you need something to focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. Don't focus on all the shit that's going on out there. Well, now I'm being a hypocrite. Yes, focus on the important stuff that's going on out there. Don't participate and partake in the negativity of it, but do something positive and try to raise awareness that we are actually being attacked as civilians, as people, and there's a higher power out there that's wanting to take that away from us. But also pay attention to the things that you need for you and your family. And again, if you put in the comments, ask any questions, I can guide you in some certain directions and some tutorials and whatnot that can help you out. All right, guys, much love. Please be safe out there. I love all you guys, even my haters. We all have different ideologies. We all have different ways of thinking. We all have different paths to come to the conclusions that we're at today, right here, right now. So I can't judge you. You can't judge me, but we can all learn to appreciate each other, right? I think that's the way it goes. All right, guys. Like, hate, subscribe, share, don't share. I do love it all. Peace out.